things off, divisional matchup for your division for your team, but not either of your teams playing. This is going to be an interesting game. It's basically the Chiefs have started to show that, yes, we are that good, and their defense is playing outstanding and outside of their mind. But this is a game for the Chargers where if you are legitimate, like myself and a lot of other people have said, this is a game that you're going to win. That being said, there is the question of, do you trust the Los Angeles Chargers? We mentioned it 2 weeks ago. I know you don't. But here's the thing for people who are still on the fence about that.
They play 17 road games a year.
That's one thing. Here's the thing that if people are wondering about this, we mentioned it 2 weeks ago when we were talking about the Bengals and Chargers game. These are the two most volatile teams in the NFL. They are either winning by 40, losing by 40, or it's a 3-point game and they lose in overtime, win in overtime, something like that. I do not trust the Chargers. I do, however, trust Andy Reid and the Chiefs. Yeah, so for that reason, I'm picking Kansas City.
This is not even a question. The Chiefs are playing another home game in SoFi Stadium. The only people that show up at SoFi Stadium are Rams fans, and then whoever else is playing there, the opponent. Chargers haven't played a home game in 15, 20 years. Like, it doesn't matter what they have a record. Like, home field advantage is not a thing for the Chargers. And the Chiefs are going to rout them. I think the spread may be at like 6.5.
It's 3.5 right now.
I'm going to hammer the hell out of that. I don't think they even get close.
No. It's, let's see here.
Because, look, Justin Herbert,
Four is the spread.
Justin Herbert, great talent. Won't do anything.
Austin Eckler, great talent
Great talent, too. Great talent.
Shout out Western.
Great talent. Need him to put up some points for my fantasy team this week.
He scored a lot of touchdowns.
I know. It was perfect.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. One of the reasons why I'm in the playoffs.
I love it.
So I need him to put up some points. But same time, they're going to have no chance in this game.
No. Frank Clark and Chris Jones reminded themselves that they're all pro.
The defense figured it out.
Yeah, and Tyrann Mathieu finally smacked the shit out of Dan Sorensen, and instead of just asking him, what are you doing, he finally beat him and said, do this right. And Dan Sorensen was like, yes, sir, Mr. Tyrann Mathieu, sir. Mr. Honey Badger, yes, I will do whatever you say. That game right now, like I said, Kansas City is a -4 favorite, and Los Angeles has a +175 money line. Over-under is set at 51.
I bet the under on this Monday Night Football game, and it just hammered.
You bet the under in a Rams game. That's where you.
But
it's where you messed up.
Yeah, you're right.
We're both on Kansas City. I think that one's pretty much a slam dunk. I'm not sure who else, unless you, even if you live in San Diego, you probably don't even care about that game. So, next game up, the Raiders going to Cleveland to play the Browns. Raiders with Will Compton. I didn't even realize that until Sunday morning that he had signed there.
First of all, shout out Will Compton. Talk about the biggest group of dumbasses I've ever seen. You haven't won a game in probably 5 years at Chiefs Stadium. And let's break the huddle down on the Chiefs logo. And the first play of the game, fumble it, give them a free touchdown. Where Patrick Mahomes hasn't even touched the field. First of all, look, Will Compton obviously doesn't have anything to say in that locker room yet because he doesn't have enough things. But he should have been like, guys, I did this with the Titans against the Ravens, and look what happened. Don't do this.
Doesn't go well.
Just don't do it. No. Don't be that guy. It's not needed. It's okay. We don't need to do that to send a message. Yeah. And you put up a performance where you don't even score a touchdown. 9 points, three field goals, 48-9, smacking. Oh my gosh. Talk about a joke. And then talk about another joke. The Browns. Lamar Jackson-less. The Ravens almost won that game. I won $50 off the Ravens covering +3. I could not be happier. But fucking no Lamar Jackson and the Browns barely squeak out a win. Apparently there's a lot of tempers flaring with Baker Mayfield and the organization, and I hope so, because that's all I need. That's all I need.
You're going to have to pay for a lot of surgeries if the Broncos bring in Baker.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. Draft Matt Corral. Oh, actually, no, fuck it. Let's keep Teddy for another year. Or keep Drew Lock in the room for another year. And bring in Baker, because that'll be your starter. And I honestly let Baker have a chance. Because the guy's playing, like I said, every single week. He's playing with 15 season-ending injuries.
He is, the cracked humerus is where I would probably draw the line. I feel like I have a pretty high pain tolerance. The only game that I missed in college, I was in the ICU when I woke up. So I feel like I could talk about this pretty well. But yeah, the cracked humerus would be the end of it for me. I would not, especially the one saving grace that you normally had with the Browns was like, he's behind the best offensive line in football. Well, you're starting all-pro left tackle not only got injured, tore his patella tendon. That's the most difficult tendon in the body to tear. And you did it.
The team I thought I was going to win this division now is just like they're in a free fall.
Oh, they're still very much in the
very much so, but
there's a very high chance that Week 18, the Bengals-Browns game, gets flexed to primetime, and it's for the AFC North Championship.
The thing is, you think about everything that's happened in this division with all the stupidity of all four teams not wanting to win the division, the Ravens still win it. And they may not have their quarterback for a few more weeks. They're still leading it right now. And I don't know for how long, but you can't argue and say that they're not in the driver's seat because they're number one in the division right now.
No, they are not. With Lamar out, they're not in the driver's seat.
They're not in the driver's seat, but like it's...
Nobody else has claimed the driver's seat. Now we're just rolling down the road with no driver.
But then again, the Steelers with a lipped Ben Roethlisberger thrown out there still have a shot in this division.
No, this is everybody's sitting in like the passenger seat. It's like the plane is going down and everybody knows how to fly it, but nobody wants to be the first one to admit. It's like, does anybody know how to fly the plane? Everybody's like, yeah. You want to do it?
No,
not right now.
I don't want to be the one to wreck it. Yeah,
not right now. And then every now and then, like, because I think every single the top three teams in the AFC North have all been looked at as like these guys can possibly make it to the Super Bowl. Is the AFC North the best division in football? At times, yes.
Oh,
it's also at times the worst.
It's one of the best because no one wants to fucking play good.
It's the most competitive. Here's
it's
the most competitive.
Because no one wants to. Because everyone's going to beat up on each other every single week because they don't know what type of football team they are.
Yeah. Well, that being said, I'm picking the Browns
because the Raiders are idiots.
Suck.
The Raiders are idiots.
Yeah, it's
don't worry, the Broncos will still lose them in 2 weeks or whatever it may be. So
I'm hoping.
Yeah, you're hoping for the Broncos to lose every single game the rest of the year. You need them to lose every single game of the year because now the Broncos are right there with the Bengals 7-6 with looking at the wild card.
Here's the thing: I'm not even caring about the playoffs because I was expecting a 7-10 season. I just want to beat the Broncos this week. Listen. I've been to, I think, 6 Broncos versus Bengals games at Mile High. I have never seen the Bengals win in person.
Yeah, the only thing you got going against you is this team's playing for a lot more.
Yeah, but they just got their 1 win, so now it's time for their 1 loss. Right?
That's what you think.
Well, we'll wait till we get to that game. We're both on the Browns there. Next game that we have down here, Patriots going to Indianapolis to play the Colts. Colts coming off of a bye week, and the Patriots. 2 solid wins in a row, and I think we have to mention
as well. They came off the bye week too.
And that win against Buffalo, they totally they mindfucked Buffalo so hard because Buffalo still hasn't recovered. I'm going with the Patriots. I think that the Colts are talented. This might be a game where maybe we see the Patriots start feeling themselves a little bit because now they have like the 1-game lead in the division. They're obviously doing some things that not many people were expecting right away. So I'm going with the Patriots to beat the Colts, but I do think that Jonathan Taylor and company and that defense for Indianapolis might pose some problems for New England.
I'm going to go Colts here. I'll tell you why. I think the Patriots are a very good football team. I don't think everybody's hyping. I think they're hyping up way too much. I don't think, Mac Jones is a stellar quarterback. Yes, I'm saying this after a bye week.
They won with only throwing the ball 3 times.
I'm aware of that, but you're talking about Bills. They played a Bills team that didn't throw the ball in the first half last week at all. First time in 30 years, or they run the ball.
No handoffs.
No handoffs. In 1 half of football. First time in 30 years that's happened. So, in a game where you had to run the ball because the wind was so bad, of course they're going to win that game. They don't know who they want at running back. Whether it be Singletary, Moss, doesn't matter.
Josh Allen's who they want at running back.
Yeah, so I'm going to go the Colts here because they're playing at home. There's a little extra juice, and it's a big game, one of the biggest games the Colts have played all season. And there's always that rivalry when you had Peyton and when you had Tom Brady, Tom Brady coming into the Indianapolis especially. So why not give me the Colts and Jonathan Taylor?
Yeah, that rivalry has gone downhill from the Brady's versus Mannings to now it's Mac Jones versus
Carson Wentz.
Carson Wentz. Yeah, ouch. I did not expect to be split on that.
More Jonathan Taylor versus Damian Harris now.
Yeah, that is true. Trent Brown versus Quentin Nelson.
Yeah.
That's what we're looking forward to. I didn't expect to be split on that one. The next game up, the Bills. We've been talking about them. This is their get-right game against the Panthers because the Panthers suck.
Oh, the Panthers are so bad.
Right? The Panthers suck. Nobody should ever pick them to win in any kind of pick 'em. I don't know of anybody who did that in the room this week, but possibly our camera operator and my girlfriend picked the Panthers to beat the Falcons, but no, they're bad.
I'm benched. I'm benched.
For PJ Walker.
What a brilliant move by the Panthers. You bring in Cam Newton. You win one game. You get all the hearts of the team. You got people you bring people back in the seats. Get fans in the stands for a week because you beat the Cardinals.
Then you fire your best coach.
And then you fire Joe Brady. And then you keep Cam Newton out there so you can tank for a great draft pick next year. Matt Rule's a goddamn genius. Oh my gosh.
He's a genius or the biggest moron that's ever gotten the head coaching job in the NFL. And it's leaning towards the latter. I said last year I wanted to give him an extra time.
He's going to get one more season.
He
doesn't have Christian McCaffrey either, and that hurts.
But here's the thing. You scapegoated the wrong coach. Your defense was way more the problem than your offensive play calling.
And your defense at one point, look, the offensive play calling is so damn limited when you have a quarterback that doesn't do a whole lot and you don't have the best playmaker, and arguably one healthy in football, in Christian McCaffrey. Mm-hmm. Your defense was your backbone the first 3 weeks, 4 weeks when you were 4-0. And then that's the only thing that kept them going. And now the offense is not where it should be. And
since their 3-0 start, they've only won 2 other games. That's where this team is at. So I'm guessing you're taking Buffalo.
I'm taking Buffalo.
As bad as Buffalo has looked,
it's a get-right game. I hope they are able to get right. That's all I'm saying. I like Josh Allen a lot, and they played really well. They almost beat Tampa Bay. Almost, but
I can't believe they were able to come back and take that thing to overtime because Brady. I did not realize Brady's only lost to the Bills 3 times in his entire career.
And he plays them twice a year, every single year.
Yes, there's a lot of opportunity for him to lose to that team, and he just never does. So we're both on Buffalo there. Next one up, we're watching the Cardinals try and make a comeback now against the Rams during Monday Night Football as we're recording this. They're taking on the Lions for their get-right game. If they do end up losing this one, it's the Lions. Yeah,
did you say Lions get-right game or Cardinals get-right game?
It's the Cardinals.
Because I heard you the first time as the Lions get-right game. I was like, man,
the Lions are coming in.
They need to get right.
The Lions are coming in, and when they come into your stadium, they bring the get-right game with them. That's what unless you're the Vikings. But this is a game where the Cardinals, they struggled against a better than average Rams team.
A Rams team that doesn't know what they want to be.
This is going to be their first win since November started for the Rams, so they're by no means I think that these two teams, the way this game goes, is not going to dictate how.
It's still the Cardinals. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if the Cardinals got beat by 40 on Monday Night Football against the Rams. I'm still taking them against the Lions. It's a damn shame that. I feel bad for them. It's just sad.
How are they going to be the team that the Broncos have to play during this week with the emotional charge?
Oh my gosh! Talk about coming out for your first win.
Wrong place at the wrong time.
And it didn't matter who was coming in. You were going to get your shit breaked in after what happened. I'm so damn happy it happened that way. But man, Dan Campbell. The man went for it on 4th down, I want to say 6 times. And I think got it once. So, you got balls. But I legit...
That's the definition of insanity.
Obviously, our teams are on the opposing sideline, so there's a lot of Lions fans around us. I told him, I was like, I'm sorry, man. You deserve better. I said that probably 10 times on Sunday. It's like, you deserve better. You guys are a class organization, but your team just fucking sucks. And talk about an organization that had 2 of the arguably most talented players at their position, and Calvin Johnson and Barry Sanders, retire in the middle of their prime because they said, fuck it, I don't want to play for the Lions anymore.
Tired of losing for the Lions,
and Matt Stafford just barely got out. So those poor guys, man.
The Detroit stink still lingers because every now and then when we're watching the Rams, I'm like, oh, that's Detroit Stafford. That's not Sunshine. That's Matt Stafford. That's not Matthew Stafford. That's Matt. No, Cardinals are going to beat the Lions. Unfortunately, the Lions still have a long ways to go. Next game, two teams that also suck. The Jets and the Dolphins.
Still a 5-game winning streak,
And
Jimmy.
who have they beaten on this 5-game winning streak?
Still a 5-game winning streak. It doesn't matter that you can't. I know you hate the Dolphins. I don't care. The Dolphins won 5 games, and both of us need to start worrying about this team because we're competing with them to get a wild card spot.
There you are again talking about the playoffs. I don't care about the playoffs.
Jesus Christ. At some point, you gotta realize there's another monkey you have to get off your back.
Next year.
Then you have to win a playoff
Next
game.
year, yeah.
It's not fun just getting there anymore. So, man.
Here's the teams that they've beaten: Houston, Baltimore,
Jets.
Jets,
Baltimore.
The Baltimore that's they're the most injured team in the NFL.
The team that still beat the Bengals. Go ahead.
No, they didn't. Baltimore did not.
Okay, either way, the team is leading your division. There you go. Go ahead.
Yeah, the Panthers and the Giants.
I don't care. It's a 5-game winning streak. It doesn't matter. Especially look, the only reason like a streak like that games matters is at the end of the season, and they're doing it at the end of the season. Broncos have that same exact schedule, 3-0, first time in 6 years that we've been 3-0 to start the year. It happens, and whether they're against a great schedule or not, that Ravens win is still impressive, and they are still in the driver's seat to get a good chance at the wild card position. And especially if you play the fucking Jets this week, that makes it 6 games in a row, Jimmy. I know that's a tough. You haven't seen that type of win streak since fucking Andy Dalton played there, but like that's a winning streak that gets you in a playoff spot.
I thought you were going to go meaner and say since Carson Palmer played there, but no. Hey, by the way, I'm picking the Dolphins.
I am too. 6 in a row. We need the Jets to win.
It's the most wonderful time of the year, and who better to celebrate this special time in the college football bowl season, NFL playoffs getting ready to go, than betting with MyBookie, our sponsor, MyBookie.ag, because it is the easiest, most fun, and they have the best odds boost to place your money, especially when you sign up at MyBookie.ag and use promo code BENCH, BENCH.
There are so many great games to pick, whether it be Bowl Pickem coming up. The NBA season is starting going. You know you're going to want to bet on the college football top 4 coming up in a few weeks. And we have some great games for football coming up. You can even bet on some racing too. The Formula 1 racing this past weekend obviously is over, but there's a lot of good stuff going on at MyBookie. You got to remember to use code BENCH, code BENCH for a double your first deposit.
Whether you want to bet your own hard-earned cash, cryptocurrency, anything like that, the best place to do so is at MyBookie.ag. And when you sign up to create your account, use our promo code BENCH, BENCH, to automatically double your first deposit up to $1,000. Get in on the winning today with MyBookie. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere at MyBookie.ag. I always hated the Dolphins, so that's really all I care about. I'm picking the Dolphins, but
I'm picking the Dolphins too.
Fuck the Dolphins as an organization. What? Cowboys, Giants. NFC Beast matchup.
The Cowboys are the biggest head scratchers in football. Dak Prescott, I hope that's another guy that they don't care about.
Dak struggled this past weekend.
I hope.
Oh my gosh, the Cardinals just got that onside kick.
I need them to cover 6.5. So we need them to score here.
I'd rather see them win than the Los Angeles Rams.
But man, with where were we at? Oh, the Cowboys. I hope they give up on Dak and then they go try to swing at a quarterback next year. I hope they try to go get Russell Wilson. I hope they try to go get Rodgers. Because if Dak Prescott's there, Broncos should be the first one to call and offer him whatever he wants. Because Dak Prescott will be perfect with this offense, and you just get him a decent O-line and a playbook that is not that hard and just not make him do too much with a great running game with a 2-headed monster running back. He would be perfect in orange and blue, where he should have been.
That's where he should have been. So I take it you're taking the Cowboys over the Giants?
I'm taking the Cowboys because the Giants are still starting Mike Glennon at quarterback.
But you know who's the happiest about Mike Glennon being a starting quarterback? Davis Mills. Because when Mike Glennon is the starting quarterback in the NFL, Davis Mills does not have the longest neck in the NFL. Because Mike Glennon is like he looks like he lost the Rock'em Sock'em Robots match, but he was the Rock'em Sock'em Robot. That's what he was.
Poor guy.
Next game up that we have also NFC Beast matchup. Washington football team coming off their loss this past weekend against Dallas, and Philadelphia. I believe Philly's coming off of their bye week. But the Gardner Minshew, actually they had their bye after Gardner Minshew came in relief of Jalen Hurts. So Not quite sure who's going to be at quarterback. I think that really, if Hurts is healthy, Hurts should be the starter because he's been the guy that you found your footing with. If he's not 100%, Gardner Minshew's still a good option. But really, what this game comes down to me, this is going to prove who is. Because I think that the NFC East, they were so bad last year. We're like, there's no way that they're going to get a wild card team in plus the division winner. But right now, I mean, it looks like it could happen. Dallas could win the division, and Washington and Philadelphia, with the extra game of the season, both still in wild card contention.
I'm going to take Washington here because I like their football team a lot more. They're much better coached. Heineke right now is the biggest hot culture.
Now you believe me that Nick Sirianni's not that good of a coach.
I never said he was a good coach. I just said let's have that same energy about Dan Campbell because Dan Campbell's doing the exact same thing and doing worse.
He has a worse team.
I never said that Nick Sirianni was a good coach. Never once. I just said we got to keep that same manager with Dan Campbell.
Yeah.
Well. But I'm going Washington because Ron Rivera is a great coach, and Heineke, if he just gets the ball to Antonio Gibson and gets Logan Thomas back especially, and gets the ball to Terry McLaurin, who was hurt obviously too, that helps him big time. And Washington, I think, is a better all-around football team.
Washington would be my pick out of these two teams to make it to the playoffs if I had to choose one of these two teams. But since Philadelphia's at home and since, they have
be thrown at the Washington football team.
That the ice balls from the crowd is going to be a big X factor. But the fact that Washington does not quite know how they're going to win games consistently, and Philadelphia's figured it out. If they run the ball well, Philadelphia can win games pretty easily. So I think that Philly, knowing what they have, and the Cardinals just blew your cover. But sorry, little live reaction there for you from Monday Night Football. Philadelphia just has a bit more of an identity. I agree with you about the coaching, but I'm taking Philly because of the running game that they could possibly bring to the game. There's a chance that Nick Sirianni might go, you know what, fuck it, air raid offense, and then it's going to be,
let's go.
It's going to be a wild ride. But right now, I'm picking Philadelphia, so we're split on that one. Next game up, Titans at Steelers. This game last year was an undefeated Steelers matchup, undefeated Steelers team, and a Titans team that was leading the AFC South. They're still leading the AFC South, but this is not the same Titans team that we saw.
They need help. They need healthy.
How bad do you think Vrabel feels that he missed out? He waited too long sitting on comp, and he could have had. Because you need depth at linebacker, and you let the Raiders come in and scoop him up.
They picked somebody up. I forgot who it was, but the Titans. It's they just look. They got Julio back. That helps. They did pick up Golden Tate, so that should help too. But they need 22 back. And right now, they're coasting, hoping that they can hold on to a playoff spot. You probably will. They probably still will hold on to a playoff spot.
That division's so soft.
Yeah, and the Colts don't know what they are. So, they'll still hold on to a playoff spot, but you got to get back healthy. And once you get 22 back in, have that be your workhorse. Hopefully, it's back before the end of the season so I can play you in the playoffs, Derrick Henry, because I need that. But they can sit right there, win these games you should, especially against the Steelers, and get you in the right position where you lead the division, hold on to the division lead, get your workhorse back, and be an underdog. Because you won't be a top seed in the AFC like you were last year and the year before. Right. It's going to be completely different. And coming in as an underdog, you're a much better team as an underdog, and that might be perfect for this team. But for that reason, I'm going Titans.
Yeah, I'm on the Titans as well because I think the Steelers. It was only because it was the Vikings that they were close to making that comeback. I think the Titans, if they get up 29 on the Steelers, will be able to hold the 29-point lead because Pittsburgh just doesn't have it this year. Real quick, we're going to go rapid fire through the next two so we can talk about the Broncos and Bengals as much as we want. Texans, Jaguars, I'm thinking Houston picks up win number 3 because Urban Meyer is calling closed-door meetings and then challenging everybody because everybody in that organization is a loser except for Urban Meyer. So he's having everybody defend, when were you a winner? In closed-door meetings. And honestly, if I was in that locker room, say, I was a winner when you finger-banged that one girl after we lost to Cincinnati, and I'm not going to have to deal with you as my head coach next season. That's when I won.
Yeah, I'm going to go Jacksonville because I think they're more talented.
Trevor Lawrence coming off a 4-interception day.
I know. They're much more talented. If Urban Meyer is anyone smart, you get the ball to James Robinson. That's all you need to do. They said, James Robinson pissed off Urban Meyer. I don't know how, but all you got to do is get him the ball and have Trevor Lawrence not make too many throws, and should beat this terrible team against arguably the 2 worst teams in football.
All right, next one, Falcons 49ers, Kyle Shanahan revenge game from the 28-3 collapse. I'm going 49ers because Debo is back, Kittle is a beast, and the 49ers are still a very good football
Go
team.
Falcons. Fire Kyle Shanahan. That's all I'm saying.
You're picking, okay.
I have games in hand on.
All right, yeah, I know, I got it. Bengals Broncos. We will be at this game in person. Like I said, I've never seen the Bengals win in person. I'm hoping this is the first weekend that I do see it. One thing that I'll say after this past weekend, it's very even matchup. I don't think that when we saw this game on the schedule from last season and we agreed that we were going to go for the show and everything like that, I don't think that you would have thought this would be as even as it is.
Oh, I thought you kicked the shit out of us at the beginning of the year.
Before the
season started, I thought we'd win because honestly,
it's gone both sides because I thought
still no because I didn't know what this team was going to look like. If you would have asked me before the season, said, "Oh, Teddy Bridgewater is going to be a quarterback," before the season you asked me who has a better chance of having a better year, Joe Burrow or Teddy Bridgewater, I wouldn't have stopped and even questioned saying Joe Burrow. Like I thought this would have been a game either way. Like the beginning of the year, I thought, the Bengals are an even better team. We may get our shit breaked in. It was never that we were going to kick your ass. If we had Peyton Manning at quarterback, and we had John Elway at quarterback, I'd be like, yeah, this is the same old Bengals team. But it's the same. It's not like I never even thought that we'd steamroll you because I thought we were bottom half half of the NFL team, and we are.
Yeah,
I just thought you weren't thought we were on the same trajectory. I never circled this game and said this is the game we're going to be favored in. I said it, what was it, 6-7 weeks ago? The only game the Broncos should be favored the rest of the season are the Lions and the Eagles game.
Yeah. No, I do think, we've been giving the Bengals a lot of credit, and that's because they've been outdoing everybody's expectations. Their spread this week is -1.5 for the Broncos. The Bengals have a +105 money line. It's pretty much dead even, like I was just mentioning. It is going to be which coach is going to lose the game for their team.
Which team shows up?
Is
it the Broncos team that had played with their hearts on their sleeve against the Lions? Is it going to be the Bengals team that played with their hearts on their sleeve against the Steelers
and the Ravens? Yeah.
Or is it going to be the team that fumbled the bag, the Broncos against the Eagles at home? Or is it going to be the Bengals team that fucking fumbled the bag? What was it against
this past weekend against
the Jets? When they got their ass kicked to the Jets,
both of them.
What team is going to show up?
This is going to be either the best game that we've seen all season, the worst game that we've seen all season, or a blowout because one of the teams showed up and the other didn't. I'm hoping that you guys got like I said, the Broncos have been on a win one, lose one, win one, lose one streak. I'm hoping that you guys won one last week, you guys lose one this week. I just want to see my team win. You guys can take the playoff spot from me. I will willingly sacrifice a playoff spot this season so that I can see the Bengals win. That's just me being selfish. And if anybody is mad at me for that in Bengals country, you guys shouldn't be here. I think our win total at the beginning of the season was set at 7. We shouldn't be here right now. This is gravy. We don't have to win and be in the playoffs. I just want to beat the Broncos. For once in my life, I just want to beat the Broncos.
Maybe you can get that, but there's like I said, the heart on the sleeve doesn't last just more than 1 week. I'll just say that.
No, I know.
I'm still heavily betting on my team.
I really want the Broncos that we saw yesterday to play against the Bengals that we saw against the Ravens, and I just want it to be a great game where Burrow and Teddy both go off for 300 yards.
We're hoping for not a Broncos versus Eagles game or a Jets versus Bengals game. Yes. We're like, what the fuck is this?
I just want to see good football being played in person.
I will tell you right now, we're going to see football we both like.
Yes.
And Joe Mixon versus Javonte Williams.
I will take it.
We are going to enjoy the fuck out of that.
I will take that. And I'm picking the Bengals. You're picking the Broncos. It'll be fun. We'll be posting videos and pictures. It's a house divided this weekend, obviously. Do we want to put a bet on the line, or I don't know if we need to because I've not done well in those bets. I've not done well in those bets. So I'm on Bengals. You're on the Broncos. Next game up that we have Seahawks going to Los Angeles to play the Rams. And the Seahawks are on a win or go home streak for the rest of the season.
Basically, win or lose your job.
Yeah.
And
whoever's fault it is that you lose is going to be the one
everybody
that loses.
everybody on the roster is playing for their jobs depend on it, and whether they got a contract next year or not.
Yep.
Because the Seahawks are going to be in blow up mode. For that reason, the Rams played a great game on Monday night, so I'm going to the Rams.
I'm going with the Rams as well. I think that they're in a better position. They're still fighting for their a legitimate playoff spot and fighting for the division win. And the the Seahawks are just not in that place. Next game up, Packers going to Baltimore to play Tyler Huntley and the Baltimore Ravens. Huntley is not the matchup that I thought we would be getting this season. I think that the Packers are able to handle business. The Packers are playing for the number 1 seed in the NFC right now.
Packers are playing some of the best football in the NFL.
Yep.
And it's
This
scary.
may be the Packers team that breaks the glass ceiling.
Oh, we said that last year, said it the year before.
But this is Rodgers' last chance.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Last dance.
Yes.
Last dance. It's Rodgers and Devontae Adams' last dance. So you know what? I hope the Packers do well. Get to the NFC Championship. Lose. Aaron Rodgers comes home, baby. Come on home.
Comes home. Yeah, the Northern California native coming home to Denver. Just like everybody else. Just like all the other people that live in Colorado.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that makes sense, actually. Next game that we have here, Saints at Bucks in Tampa. And it's not the same Saints team that beat Tampa Bay earlier on in the season. For whatever reason, the Saints have...
Saints always have a Bucks number at the beginning of the year.
Yes, and I think it's because Sean Payton knows how to beat Tom Brady. I don't think he has the talent to be able to hold that game plan off this year.
Oh, I 100%. Buccaneers roll here, but Saints, please keep it a game. Taysom Hill, I need you. I need you, buddy. My 2 QB league, I need you to put me up some points in my first round of playoffs. I need you, buddy. Get some running yards, get a rushing touchdown, throw the ball to Mr. Mr. Slant Boy's not back yet. Throw the ball to, I don't even know who's your at receiver. Dump it off to Kamara.
Yes.
Give me some points here, and let's get this steam rolling. I could care less if you win, but do your fantasy managers some help.
There you go. And finally, the last game of the week, Monday Night Football. Back-to-back primetime games for both the Vikings and the Bears, because the Vikings played Thursday Night Football, the Bears played Sunday Night Football, and Minnesota is going to Chicago. I'm going with, I took a risky bet on the Vikings last week in the Pickem. It paid off for me, so you know what? I'm going to ride that hot streak, and I'm very well prepared to lose this game because it could be the Bears' best performance in the season.
Eeny, meeny, miny. Well, I guess I'll go with the Bears. I really don't care. This
Yeah.
game really doesn't matter. 2 teams that are owned by Aaron Rodgers.
Yes, both of these 2 teams are owned by Aaron Rodgers. That's going to bring us to the end of Week 15 for the NFL Pick'em. Be sure to vote at FEOTB Pod on Thursday before you watch this video, because we've been getting a lot of that stuff. We'll have plenty of polls coming up with the Bowl Pick'em show also as well. But now we get to move on into our segment presented by the High Alpine Brewing.